Hello.
Good to see you. And just watched, have you watched the last few minutes of that?
Yeah.
Always fun to watch an audience applaud a man's throat being ripped out. That's always fun. First things first, is Rama okay? Is he
Rama's
alright?
alright.
I'm a bit worried about him at the end. He looks a bit banged up.
Yeah, we bash the shit out of Ego a lot in these movies.
But Rama lives. That's okay.
Yes, he does.
All right. Good. So this movie, I mean, it's an incredible triumph of action filmmaking, and you, like Guillermo del Toro, for example, you didn't have a second. You did this all yourself. How many days did it take, and how arduous was it towards the end?
We shot for about 132 days total, which is way too fucking long.
The longest shoot in Indonesian history before that was?
Probably maybe something like Chutnya Din, which is like this big sort of historical epic. But this was pretty brutal. This was like a long time. You lose friends and social life when you do something like this. You lose friends and social life when they find out that you come up with shit like this.
But the final fight at the end there, how long did that take to shoot?
That one we took about 10 days to shoot. We had about 196 shots to do. And every day that we shoot into that kitchen fight, the guys are pretty much fighting non-stop for about 12 to 13 hours per day. So I look at it as the equivalent of if I do 1 hour in the gym, the next day I'm fucked. They do 13 hours, and then the next day they do another 13 hours. It's 5 days consecutive. They have 1 day break and then another 5 days. So yeah, and accidents happen from time to time. Ego did accidentally punch Chechep square in the face.
Wow.
So he had a nice little bumpy nose and a black eye, but they'd already gone through quite a lot of the fight, so we just made use of it. It was like free makeup for us.
There's an amazing shot where Ego throws Chechep through a plate glass window and he actually smacks his head off the wine rack at the back. Was that an accident or was that?
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to hit the wine rack, but yeah, it looked good to this.
It did look good, yeah, it looked realistic. I don't know how many people know, but Chechep, who plays the assassin, is an English teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
We always meet people from like interesting walks of life that do like SEALAT and like different martial artists, and so like in the raid 1, the guy with the machete with the big bulging eyes, like he's an architect. And so each of them have these nice little interests. And they're lovely people, by the way. They're very nice, friendly people, but they just happen to know how to rip your throat out.
So basically, everyone in Indonesia can kill you. Is that the end?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So another thing I don't think people know necessarily about this movie is that this was going to be shot before the raid.
Yeah.
And this at some point became a sequel. Can you talk about that how that happened?
Yeah, so I had like this initial concept. There was an initial script idea was about like an ordinary guy who kind of becomes mixed in with this mob group, and then it's right at the time of the gang war. And that was like the original idea, it was the ordinary fella. And when I tried to get the budget for that for like about 2 years, after not being able to get the budget in place, we decided to go and make the raid as a plan B project. And so while we were writing the raid 1, I kept looking at that old script thinking, well, what's wrong with it? What can I not quite get right in it? And it was always the main motivation of that guy, why he would stay in the middle of this gang war. I was like, well, if he's an undercover cop, he has to stay. It's part of his job, he has to be there and be part of it. And so that kind of fixed it. And then I started looking at the raid 1, and I said, well, what if it was this cop, this guy that Eco's playing now? Or if it was a continuation of his story? And so in the script, of course, of the raid 1, we started putting in little hints. So at the end of the raid 1, they mentioned the names Bunawar and Reza, and those are the characters that kind of become bigger in terms of part 2 then.
Okay, but I presume everyone here has seen the raid before they saw this, right? Show of hands quickly. So everyone had, okay.
Thank you.
So how much did the script change it, for example? Because and how much did you incorporate after the raid? Because, for example, it begins with the death of Andy, Rama's brother. Was that always the intention from the beginning?
That was the first thing I wrote when I started doing the rewrite on it. Was Andy's death. I wanted to kind of start the film with something that would set the tone immediately for what we were about to do. So there's something very different in terms of the pacing and the fact that we were going to give more story this time, more depth to it. And so Andy's death was like the first thing I wrote. And a big part of that was because we covered that big chunk of the conversation between them in the house in the grade 1 in the building, right?
Yeah.
And all I kept thinking is like, what the fuck are they going to talk about in part 2? And I was like, I'm at a loss. I can't think of any conversation they can have now because they've already established the whole of their backstory, everything about who they are, where they're going, what paths they're going to take. And so like, I'll fucking shoot them then.
And not just shoot him, I mean, definitively shoot him. I mean, he's gone.
Yeah, he's not getting up after that. Arkansas won't do.
But I think a lot of people might have seen a raid and come out of it and thought that would form the backbone of the story. That sort of Rama versus Andy parallel story.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was reading people comment on Twitter and forums all the time. Well, as I was writing that scene, I was like, oh, how wrong they are.
So, in terms of the rest of the story, the backstory with the Ucho, was that Ucho a character?
Ucho was in the original script. Hammer Girl, Baseball Batman, Vigil, the Assassin, they were all in the original script as well. Car Chase was there, like a lot of it was already in there.
So the idea of the Indonesian, Japanese kind of through space and all.
Yeah, I don't think they were Japanese in the original script in that one, but then we kind of like switched it around and made it give a little bit more flavour to it. But the police investigation stuff, that was the elements we wrote in. And then also that idea of like in the first version of the script, the main guy was a bit of a loner. He was much more introverted to the character. I'd been watching a lot of Toshiaki Toyoda films, like Porno Star and Blue Spring, and I was kind of wanting to try and equal out with a role like that, one of those like real sort of quiet loner types who's a little bit dangerous on the inside. And then once I made Rama, then I had to make a massive change, and it was that character, he couldn't be that guy anymore. So it was adding things like the family element, the fact that like now at this point in the time, the baby's born, like his wife was expecting. And it kind of helped them as well, because like Iko himself on a personal level, he got married, and then his wife was expecting, they were expecting their first child while we were in production. So it was nice because like, I got to totally fucking exploit that. And bring out this like stronger, more complex performance from him.
Yeah.
And like he's still learning, but like the growth in him as an actor now from Morando to what we're doing right now, it's huge. It's only like 3 films, so fingers crossed he'll keep growing and having more life experiences for me to play around with. So